Let's start solving this problem using the bottom-up approach. So I will take the same example as given in lead code. Let me copy this. I paste it somewhere here. So I placed all these numbers here, 1, 5, 11, and 5. So now let's see, first of all, whether the sum is even or odd. If it's odd, we will immediately return as false, as we discussed in previous video. So because if it's odd, we cannot divide it into two equal subsets. So the sum would be 11. We already know it's 22. And if we are dividing this into two subsets or two arrays, then it would be 22 by 11. The target should be sum divided by 2, which is 11, right? So we need to see that whether we can partition this into two sub arrays and one of the sub arrays, both of the sub arrays should have the sum of 11. If we find this condition, then it means that we'll return true. That is possible. This is our target. I'll mark it here like this. Okay, and let's start creating this, solving this problem using bottom up. So here I've also created a new DP of I, and this DP is actually not an array, but here I'm using a set. I will explain later that why I'm using set here. So here we'll create that set. That what are the possible set or the sub array which are created here for each of the indices when we include it, and whether we can find a combination which has the sum of 11. Because once we find a sub array which has got the sum of 11, it means that we have to return there immediately. That's true. And if we have consumed all the array elements and we still didn't find the target sum as 11, then we have to return false. So let's start with dp of 0, which means that we only consider the first element here. I'll mark it here as this, and let me put it this and 1. Okay. So now in our set, right, either we can include this element in our subarray. So here we are trying to create a subarray, right? A subarray which will having a sum of 11, that is sum by 2. So in this subarray that we are going to create, either we can add this element or not include this element. If we don't include this element, it means that this subarray would be having at least 0, right? Because we are not adding any element. Or if we include this element, then it would be 1, because this is only the first element. And we see that if we include 1 here, so the sum of this array, if I have, so right now this condition is that it's an empty array, and this condition is that we have got one element as 1 in our subarray that we are creating. And this one, if I only choose 1, then it's not the sum here is not equal to 1. So it means that we haven't met our target yet by including 1. So for dp0, we have got two cases, empty set and 1. So we'll just include it here as 0 and 1. So this is our dp0. So 0 is again, 0 is that we don't include this element, and 1 is when we include this element in our subarray and in our set, to be precise, and the sum is still not 11. So we'll proceed with dp1. So dp1 means that now we are given the nums array with these two elements. Now we have got in this dp1, we got this new element 5, right? And now we have already got from dp0, we found that we have got two elements already in our arrays 0 and 1. So if we add this 5 here, right? So this condition would be, then I will try to see that if addition of 5 here and then doing a sum of all the remaining elements which are already present in this set, if that can target and give me 11, then it would be our solution has been met and we can return true. So it means that if we want to add this 5, So there is one possible that condition is that if I just add 5 here, so and just add with the 0 element, if I just choose 5 and 0 and I remove this 1. Let me make it more clear. So if I include 5 element and I remove this 1, right? If I don't want to remove and just add 5 and 0, so it means that it would be the sum would be giving me of 5 only. So it means that this condition is having only 5, excluding 1. And the other condition is that if I include both 5 and 1, if I include both 5 and 1, which is dp of 0 is like 0 and 1. So if I put 5 plus 1, then it would be, so our formula becomes like this: 5 plus the 1 element which is already there. So it would be 6. So this condition is actually 5 and 6, right? We are considering these two cases here. If we don't include this 0, if we don't include the 1 element, then it would be only 5. And if we include the first element, then it would be 6. So here are the two extra elements we can say in the set that can be added here. Because this is a set, it means that we already have got 0 and 1 from dp0, and then 5 is already, the 5 is the new element. And if we add 6 here, then it would be 5 and 6. But 5 is already present, so it will not be added because it's a set. So here it would be 6. And we have checked for all, so far in all of the elements considering, we have still haven't reached the target of 11. So that's why we'll proceed with dp2, the next element.